in Nigeria and in Africa. So they came together and they started to put one or two things in order to make awareness for microbiology, to to have a sense of belonging for microbiologists. Yes, you know, some of you, as you may already know, most graduates of microbiology, immediately they graduate, they tend to dive into other fields of study because they actually feel that there's no place of belonging for microbiologists. But that's not true, even though that lie may have been sold to us, but it is not true. Microbiology is actually very, very lucrative and it has a lot of opportunity. So you have to be able to like position yourself to get these opportunities. So that's what we'll be talking about today. How you can position yourself, even as a student, as a fresh graduate, to start getting that visibility that would help your career. Yeah, so that's what we'll be checking today. So without any further delay, we'll just go straight to the business of the day. Alright, here we go. Career path in microbiology, a guide to students. And so first of all, I'd like to tell, does anybody, can anybody tell us what he or she understands by career path? So anybody, what's what your understanding is about career path? What's a career path? Anyone? Alright. Tisha said, I would say it is a guide to various fields in microbiology. Okay, thank you very much. That's a good one from Joshua. Thank you. Can we have any other person? One more person to go. What you understand by career path? Okay, all right. I'll just go ahead now. Career path is actually a list of steps you take in your professional journey or in your professional life for progress. Now, those steps you consciously, intentionally take to progressing in the line that you've chosen with your career path. Either going into different roles or going into a more advanced roles. It has to be in a chosen field that you yourself you've chosen to go. So that's career path. Then I have a definition here. Career path refers to the progressive journey within a chosen profession where an individual accumulates experiences, acquires necessary skills, and adapts to industry trends while setting and achieving personal goals for development. So the key words we have here when it comes to career path, we have a journey that is being progressive. It means this journey is not stagnant. It has to be within a chosen profession. You should have chosen what you want to do, and then you accumulate relevant experiences. You could accumulate experiences that are not relevant to what you want to do. I mean, some information rather can be considered excess when they are not valuable to what you want to do. Okay, let me quickly chip this in. In your career plan or in your career, you should have what is called the long-term and the short-term goals. And your long-term goals should be affected by your short-term goals. Anything you're doing within the short term should be what affects or what will contribute to your long-term goal. So if whatsoever you are doing now, the experiences or the skills that you are acquiring now does not contribute whatsoever, or they are not relevant to your goals in the future, it means something is wrong. So the key word there is relevant experiences, necessary skills, and then you should be able to adapt to industry trends. Another keyword there is adapting to industrial trend while setting and achieving personal and professional goals. Yeah, this is another keyword. You should be able to set goals. Like I said before, your long-term goals, your short-term goals. You should be able to okay, within this period, and your goals should be defined and they should be achievable. Within this period, I should be able to get this done. I should be able to acquire these skills. I should do this. I should do that. Yeah. So you should be able to achieve and set personal goals for professional development. So yeah, I'm sorry I didn't introduce myself, so I'll just go straight to the next slide that introduces me. So my name is Evans. This is here. I am actually a PhD holder in microbiology, passionate about molecular biology and environmental biology. Yeah, okay. I have worked as a medical lab assistant and currently I'm a member of the American Society for Microbiology and also a member of the Nigerian Society for Microbiology. And I am an advocate for clean water, an SDG advocate. SDG, because for those of us that the word is means for SDG means Sustainable Development Goals. So these are some set of goals, some sets of goals that have been put in place by the UN that should be met in a specific time. And I am actually advocating for goal number 6 of that. Of course, I am actually into other goals, but majorly I focus on clean water and sanitation, which is the goal number 6. And also, I'm also raising awareness about microbiology and building a community in Nigeria. Yes. So my personal goals is to ensure that microbiology and microbiologists gain recognition in Nigeria and in Africa and have the opportunity to solve problems in our environment. Yes, you'll realize that there are so many problems in Africa and in Nigeria that microbiology can actually remedy. But because of the way things have been faced, microbiology does not have that recognition that it actually deserves. So that's me. So I'll just go straight to the next slide. Now these are the things we'll be looking at from my own end. There are two speakers that's speaking today. So when I'm done, the other speaker would speak to us. So I'll be talking about early stages of microbiology career, talking about the mid stage to the advanced stage, and I'll talk about the challenges faced by microbiologists in Nigeria and in Africa, and of course, one or two things we can do to actually remedy this. So that's all we'll be running through this morning. Now, when we're talking about the early career stages in microbiology, I actually term this stage or this phase because we said it is a journey. Career path is a journey. It's a step by step and it is progressive. So at this stage, what we call the early career stage, I actually term it the stage of acclimatization, where you get to introduce yourself or you get familiarized with the environment, with the profession, or I call it the inoculation stage. I mean, this is a microbiology garden, so we should be able to use some microbiology terms. So it's the stage where you introduce yourself into the environment, into the spheres of microbiology and get used to the things that are happening here. So there are some things you need to do in this stage that will get you prepared or that will set you or that will put you in the right course. One of the first things you need to do is to go for internship. As a microbiology student or as a microbiology graduate, the importance of getting internship cannot be overemphasized. You need internship to actually give you that experiential knowledge you need, that practical knowledge you need. Yes, going into internship, sometimes it can be really stressful going into internship because microbiology in Nigeria is not professionalized yet. So you have to go through some rigorous processes, but it is worth it, trust me. What you are going to benefit going for internship, they are far more better, or they far more outweigh the things, the fears that you have. So just brush yourself up, go for an internship, go to any industry, any microbial industry of your choice. You could go to the hospital, you could go to a diagnostic lab, you could go to a brewery or bottling industry. Just tell them you want to intel for them. Now, it is already established that most institutions in Africa and in Nigeria do not give you that practical knowledge you need to go into the real world to start solving problems, because part of why you studied what you studied is to be able to solve problems, is to impact your environment, is to bring positive change to your society. So you do not have that expertise yet. If people can actually finish from school and go back to learning a trade, then you could actually finish from school and take 6 months and be like, okay, I want to intern for this place. Let me learn the practical knowledge of these things. Yes, it is worth it. That's for internship. The another thing is volunteering. Now, I know that internship can be very difficult due to the factors that I mentioned earlier. Volunteering can be a very good substitute for you to take if there are no formal opportunities for you to intern. You could actually go there, tell them, I want to work for you, but you don't have to pay me. I'll work and I'll learn. This is the point where you can actually get real life experience, real world experience, so you can fully immerse yourself into these things and get first class experience or hands-on experience. Okay, now the next thing that you ought to do or that you should do is build network. Networking is building professional relationships. Now, it is not just hanging around people, keeping acquaintances. It is intentional, it is deliberate. You build professional relationships. If you can hear me, just lift your hand, give an emoji or something. Let me know you guys are with me. An emoji or something, an high five, a thumbs up, a high. Joshua. Alright. I see you, Joshua. I see you, Esther. So okay, I'll just go ahead. Like I said, networking is building professional relationships. Yes, with a purpose. You don't just build a network because you want to be a parasite. And mind you, it doesn't mean that if the person you are benefiting from, the same person you have to give back to, because some persons in the profession or in the field are far ahead of you. Yes, they are far ahead of you in terms of profession. So what you have to do for those persons is to show them that you are willing to learn and you want to submit under them. So you build such network. And network is not just parallel. Like we said, it's a network. You can picture your spider web as an example. You see the spider web is very, very, very irregular. It's zigzag. You have a web moving this way, moving that way, moving, and it's all round. But at the end, they are all connected. So, in as much as networking can go vertically, it can also go horizontally, it can also go diagonally, it can go anywhere. You can network with somebody you are far below than, you can mentor, you can network rather with somebody that is far above you. You can mentor, network with your peers. Yeah, but the goal is for productivity. Either you are giving value to these persons or you are receiving value from these persons. Now, how do you get opportunities to network? It's good that you build healthy relationship with your lecturers, with your supervisors. There's nothing wrong after a class. That's a wonderful class. And there are some lecturers you love. These lecturers, they are very good and you aspire to be like them. Also, when they finish their classes, you could run after them. It doesn't have to be dramatic anyway. Just simple courtesy. Good morning, sir. Good afternoon, sir. I enjoyed your class today. It was awesome. It was very insightful. And you go. It doesn't have to be more than that. You've sown a seed. It comes next time. You do that. You're building a relationship. It is not necessarily for you to have favor in your grades, but these things are going to come by in the rainy days. You could have graduated from school and you need recommendation, and it is just that lecturer that you've been in touch with that can recommend you and say, I know this person, because most persons will not recommend a person they do not know. So networking helps you to get people that can recommend you. And also go for seminars, go for conferences, attend webinars that are relevant to your field. Attend webinars, attend conferences, virtual ones, physical ones, and if a speaker did well or did something that impresses you, at the end of the seminar, you could go and meet this same person and be like, okay, sir, can I get a picture? Ma, can I get a picture? Now, this is how this thing works. Just that gesture you asked for. Sir, can I take a picture? And get home, you pick the contact that was dropped, you send a short message to these persons. Now, I'm telling you how you could actually connect to people professionally. And when you are connecting with these people, you don't just go into their DMs or their mails and say hi. There are professional ways to doing things. Good afternoon, sir. Hello, sir. I was among the participants in the meeting today, and I'd like to say your presentation was insightful. It was this, it was that. And to add to it, I was the person that snapped the picture with you today. You see, you connected the dots. So these are ways you network with people. Join professional platforms. We have the likes of LinkedIn, we have the likes of ResearchGate. Build online presence. This will help you connect with microbiologists or professionals globally, and you begin to get exposed to how things are done. You don't just remain in your local environment or in the way things are done in your environment. So you get connected to people and then you get exposed. Yeah, so that's for that. And get short-term certifications. Short-term certifications will help you boost your qualification, and they are very flexible. They have some online, they have some offline. Yes, in all these things we've been talking about, you should have something you are getting out of all these things. We talked about internships, we talked about volunteering, we talked about building network. Now, you should have something that you are getting out of these things. So these are the foundational skills. When we talk about skills, these foundational skills, we're talking about basic skills that is required to succeed in a profession. And in this case, we're talking about microbiology. So everything we'll be talking about since, you should be able to get these skills that we are going to look at now. Microbiological techniques. Now, when you go out to intern or you go out to volunteer, it is funny how some graduates of microbiology, they don't even know how to culture. They don't know, even if they can culture, most of them don't know microscopy. I bet 80% does not know how to navigate the microscope. And these are basic skills that you ought to have learned. But because of no experiential knowledge, You don't know those things. So you should be able to know how to culture as a microbiologist. You should know how to carry out microscopy. You should know how to stain, and you should know how to do any of that. You should know how to operate. You should know how to carry aseptic techniques. You should know how to operate different laboratory equipment. Then another basic skill you should know is molecular biological skills. You should have knowledge about polymerase chain reaction. You should have knowledge about RNA and DNA extraction. You should have knowledge about gene therapy, gene sequencing, gel electrophoresis, and these are just to name a few. These are things that are now infused into microbiology that are very essential. If you are going to go into the biotech of microbiology, then you should know recombinant DNA and the rest. Then you have to learn data analysis. This is very, very paramount. Data analysis is your ability to analyze and interpret scientific data. So that's for that. And your ability to carry out critical thinking and problem solving. You should be able to solve problems. You should be able to carry out critical thinking. Your ability to perceive, to see a problem, and you are able to understand it and predict what is the next line of actions. Yes, this is critical thinking. You perceive all the possible scenarios. You may not necessarily know everything, but you have an idea of what's going on and you have an idea of what to do. This is your ability to carry out critical thinking and solving problems. Now we have scientific writing and communication. Your skills in writing research paper is very, very paramount. As a microbiologist, you should learn to write research papers. You should learn to write proposals. I mean, you should be able to put your information in writing in such a way that when people see it, it is concise and clear. And some of you, for those that are students, you'll be doing your seminars soon and you'll be doing your projects soon. These are skills you need in order for you to put out a good seminar, a good report, and a good research paper. Yes. You also have soft skills. Yeah, soft skills. Soft skills, these are required skills for any profession. Now, this is not just limited to the science field alone. If you are in any field of endeavor, you should be able to acquire or you should have these skills. First of all, you should be able to communicate. You should be able to, those ideas that you have in your head, those information, you should be able to pass them across clearly without any obscurity, without any ambiguous element. Everything should be clear and concise. Yes, you should be able to pass your information in a concise and a clear way. And we have teamwork. Of course, in microbiology settings, you're probably always going to work with teams. You're going to work in a collaborative settings. You're going to be in twos, in threes, in fours, whatsoever the case may be. Your ability to work with other persons matters a lot. So then we go to paying of attention. You should be able to pay attention to details because microbiology involves a lot of delicate and meticulous practices, practicals, experiments, whatsoever. For those of us that have done our projects or that have carried out a major project, you will notice that at the beginning it was very, 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 very stressful and it was frustrating. You will do your culture today, tomorrow you come, it is contaminated because you probably missed one or two things. You come, you culture the same thing, it is contaminated. So your ability to notice those tiny, tiny informations, those things that may go unnoticed, will help you in getting your path straight as an early microbiologist. You should be able to pay attention to details. Then another thing is your ability to be flexible and adaptable. Yes, like I said before when I started, I said new trends are coming. The world is a global village. Things are changing. Your ability to dive into the industry and learn, unlearn, and relearn is going to help you a lot. The ability to know that what you've learned before, these things are now outdated, and now you need to follow new trends because new trends are always going to come. For example, some years back, the only way to identify microorganisms was through culturing, but these days we use different molecular techniques. The reason being that not all microorganisms are culturable. Some microorganisms will never grow on your culture plate. Yes. So you have to use molecular means to identify these organisms. You have to use tissue cultures and all that. So your ability to know that, okay, this thing was what I learned before. Okay, now there's a new trend. I have to follow this. It is very, very, very key. Yes. And another thing we have here is time management. Yeah, time management cannot be overemphasized. As a professional, you're always going to have different projects. You are going to have deadlines to meet. So your ability to manage your projects very well in such a way that you don't miss deadlines, you don't miss your work, you don't fall back on the research, you don't just lag behind is very, very key. Ability to manage your time very well and make sure that you have space to work and work effectively, that you bring out your optimal productivity is very key. So that's your ability to manage your time very well. You should be a good time manager, if there's any word like that. Yeah, you should have the ability to manage your time very well. And another thing is your ethical awareness. Microbiology has to do with various practicals, various experiments, and some of them can be very, very deadly and harmful to your environment. You'll be dealing with pathogens, you'll be dealing with a lot of things that are not even healthy to you yourself. So you should know the ethics of the job. You should know the do's and don'ts, the codes that binds you in this job. You should know the practicals or the experiments to carry out, because there are some experiments that are forbidden. When I can't really begin to go into details, there are ethical warnings against or prohibitions against bioterrorism and bioweapons. So you should know that those are no-go areas, and you should know that some pathogens or some organisms that you'll be dealing with, they can be very, very detrimental to the public or to the environment. So you should know your way around those things. Yeah. So we'll now move forward to the mid-career to advanced stage. The mid-career to advanced stage. At this stage, first of all, you should have chosen a particular field in microbiology you want to focus on. That is the first thing. At this point, you should know that, okay, this is the aspect of microbiology I want to go into. Microbiology is very wide. It is very wide. As a matter of fact, we have the pure microbiology and we have the applied microbiology. So if you are going into the pure microbiology, you should already know your niche in pure microbiology. If you are going into applied microbiology, you should know that, okay, this is the part of microbiology I want to go into. Then after you've known the area of specialty you want to fully immerse yourself into, then you should think about doing further study or further education in that part. Now, I know, okay, we may have persons that did their OND, that did HND, that did BSc, but that's not where it should end. If you do your OND, then you should strive further to do your HND. After you've done your HND, you should get your postgraduate diploma that can help you get a master's degree. Because what this does for you, it opens you up for more opportunity. There are some level of opportunity that being just a BSc holder will get you to. And there are levels of opportunity that having a master's in microbiology, having PhD in microbiology can open you up to. So at this stage, you should think after you've chosen a particular phase or a particular part of microbiology you want to dive into, you should consider furthering your education. You should consider deepening your knowledge in this part of microbiology that you've chosen to do. Yes. Now, we'll now talk about seeking research opportunities. You need to seek opportunities, engage in research opportunities, be it doing your work alone or collaborating with a company or collaborating with an institution, academic institution. You should seek opportunities to engage in research. Go into research. Yes, you should do more, put down research papers. If you want to collaborate with bigger companies or bigger institutions or with an academic institution or with somebody that is higher than you in the field, you should go ahead and go into that. And you should have mentors that put you through in these things that you do so that you begin to know more and you begin to dive more. As this will open you up, it will give you more opportunity to be effective in the field, and as such, you'll be giving value to your community. And the next thing is for you to take up leadership position. After you've done this, you've furthered your education, be it your master's, PhD, you've sought for opportunity to actually research. At this point, you now begin to administer leadership roles. People begin to come to you and they want mentorship, they want you to groom them. You should be able to pick one or two persons and impart this knowledge that you've acquired, these experiences that you've acquired or you've assimilated over the years. You should be able to impart them into this person. You should be available for mentorship, because we're also talking about advocating for microbiology and finding a way where microbiology can excel as a profession. So you as a professional that have gotten some experiences under your belt, some skills under your belt, you should be able to position yourself in a place or in a position where younger microbiologists can come and acquire knowledge from you, seek mentorship from you, and carry out projects in your community, carry out administrative roles in your industry. Yes, you should be able to do these things. So we'll just dive into the challenges faced by microbiologists in Nigeria and in Africa. So one of these challenges, as we all know, lack of recognition, lack of job opportunities, and lack of specialized training, both locally to advance our expertise. These things are what we see every day. I had so much enthusiasm as a microbiology final year student. I told myself, I know some of you have such too. I told myself, when I finish, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But after graduating, the reality hits me. But this is not to handicap your dreams. Yeah, I'm telling you this so that you should know what to expect. This is not to handicap your dreams. When most of us graduated, we saw that microbiology is not giving the opportunity to express that which it has within it. Microbiology has the potential to do a lot of good in our country, in our continent. But because people don't recognize, people don't know what microbiology can do. People don't know about microbiology. Now, if you should ask a layman, what's microbiology? They will tell you, you know those people that work in the lab? Far from it. They mistake you for a medical lab scientist. Medical lab science is just one aspect of microbiology. Like I said before, we have different aspects of microbiology. We have the soil microbiology, we have the industrial microbiology, we have the food microbiology, we even have the environmental microbiology, we have the molecular biology, microbiology, we have the clinicals, and there are so many. And recently, I got to find out that we have what is called the biochemical, like the biochemistry of microbiology. Yes, and we have what is called marine microbiology. There, there are so many aspects of microbiology people don't even know, and this could actually solve problems in our society. Environmental microbiology has have the opportunity or have the capacity to solve 90% of our environmental problems. Yes, we are talking about bioremediation, biodegradation. These are things that microbiologists could embark on to solve problems in our society. But because people don't know about this, the value of microbiology has gone down. So people don't seek for your services. It is the lack of recognition that has caused lack of job opportunities. Like I've been saying since, it is because people don't know about what this field is capable of doing. The goods and of course the bads. We are not talking about the bads. Now we are talking about the good parts that microbiology can actually do for us. There are a lot of things that microbiology can actually do for us. When you're talking about making of cheese, making of um, pasteurization of milk in the food industry, these quality control analysts, these are microbiologists in your bottling industry, in the brewing industry. There's no way a wine industry would work without the knowledge of microbiology. So it is your duty as a microbiologist to let this public know, to give them this knowledge, sensitize this public, tell them the usefulness of microbiology, what microbiology can do for them. So as such, they will begin to know your value and they will come for you as a microbiologist. You should be able to use the internet to push microbiology in such a way that people know the effectiveness of this course and they begin to recognize it and they begin to come for you to meet their needs. So if we are able to bridge the gap of low recognition by advocacy, sensitization, and educating the public, then we have a chance at creating more opportunities for microbiologists. Now, we were talking about low job opportunities. When you've been able to build yourself as a microbiologist, you've done all these things we've talked about since you've gone for internship, you've built yourself, you've furthered your education, and you now have expertise. You should be able to have what we call an entrepreneur and a freelancing mindset. Carry out projects on your own, position yourself in such a way that you will be recognizable, that you will be visible. Yes, and as such, you begin to get opportunities. And putting yourself out there, this is another thing we're talking about. You don't have to shy away. You have to be able to network. If you network, if you have good network system, you'll be able to get recognition. Like I said before, you can have all the skills in the world and nobody knows about you. As such, it is as good as nothing because you will just be doing your thing in your local environment and nobody knows. So if you have good network, people are able to recommend you for opportunities. So one of the recommendation or one of the solutions to lack of jobs and opportunity is that you build your network, position yourself in a way, build your network, position yourself, enhance your skills as a person, intentionally build yourself. Don't wait for anybody. Grow by yourself and position yourself in a place where you can be visible, right? And the last problem faced by microbiologists is lack of specialized training. Is the same thing we'll be talking about because microbiology is not recognized. So we have little or nobody in our local environment trying to push us for advancement. This is where scholarship also comes in, and this is where access to grants comes in. If you have a major research idea you want to go into, there are so many bodies, professional bodies, that are willing to sponsor your research. You just have to apply for these grants, know when and how to apply for these grants and apply for this scholarship. You will get the opportunity to showcase that your potential or that impact that you have, so that it will start making a difference in the world. Yeah, so that's for the problems faced. So this is a call to duty. You don't have to waste much time. You just have to go straight to what is needed to be done. Start seeking internship and volunteering position. Build your professional network through whatsoever means necessary. Just build your network. Go for seminars, engage professionals, build your online presence, then explore specialization and take certification courses. And most importantly, advocate for microbiology. Educate people about this course. People will not know about how you do these courses if you don't tell people. Tell people about this course and tell them the good they can get from this course, or from this field rather, or from this profession. Yeah, so that's will be all from my end, and I hope we've been able to dish value to you this morning. If there is any question, please just put it down in the chat section, or in the question and answer section. While I've already taken so much time, I will just call Mr. Steven, who is our second speaker, to go ahead from here. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome, sir. So, hello, Mr. Siricious. Are you with us?
Hello. Hello.
You don't have any, I can hear you, sir. You don't have any question?
No question so far. Following from Cameroon has been so interesting.
All right. I'm glad to have you with us, and I'm happy you're here. Okay. Before our speaker comes in, I would like to ask you. I know I've not been to Cameroon, but here in Nigeria, it's quite a struggle. Are you a microbiologist, sir?
Yes, I'm a microbiologist.
Okay. Are you a professional or you're a student?
This week I just defended a master's in medical microbiology.
Wow, that's wonderful. Congratulations, sir. So I wanted to ask, do you guys face the same challenge as we face in Nigeria? Like, is microbiology recognized very much in Cameroon?
No, microbiology is not recognized. I think it's the same problem in Cameroon. It is far from recognition.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I think if it's not recognized, that means it is not also professionalized.
No, it is not recognized and it's not professionalized. So it's the same problem.
All right. Okay. That's one of the reasons this move is going on. It's not just going to be in some part of Africa alone, because microbiology is far too interesting and far too valuable to be kept aside. I mean, we can see what they are doing with microbiology in the Western world. We've seen what the likes of Microbiology Society in UK, what they are doing. We see the likes of American Society for Microbiology, what they are doing in America. So there's a lot more that microbiology can offer. In Africa, we have polluted water, we have a lot of things that microbiology can actually help us work on. So as such, we have to come together as microbiologists and start creating awareness for ourselves as microbiologists for ourselves by ourselves. Yes, because we can actually gain. We I came to understand that we can actually gain the recognition we deserve even from international bodies. Yes, we can start using microbiology to reach the global goals. Microbiology covers about 5 or 6 of them. So you see, microbiology can actually do a lot. Yeah.
Sure.
Prof, are you ready?
Okay,
All right,
thank you
sir.
so much. I actually want to appreciate our speaker, my colleague, Mr. Evans. He has done a lot of job. I think I may not really have much to say again because listening to him, he has almost covered everything I was supposed to talk about. I don't know if are we following? If we are following, please let's just show a reaction that you are following, please. We want to know those who are following us. Maybe a wave, okay. I can see Mr. Nisame or Mrs. Sorry. I can see Nisame, okay. Please, if we are following, let's just give a reaction, please. Okay, I'm going to speak on a guide, a continuation from where my colleague stopped. A guide on academic research and industrial rules for microbiologists in Nigeria. And now we are having somebody speaking from Cameroon, actually indicating that exactly the same challenge we have here in Nigeria, we also have it in Cameroon. So probably we are going to change our team to Africa instead of just limiting to Nigeria. So let's say Nigeria, Africa, and globally. So we are trying to give ourselves a guide actually, to how we can be useful with this course of microbiology in Nigeria and in Africa. My colleague has talked about what a career is, but I want to remind us that when we talk about career, we are talking about a kind of occupation or job or a position that a sequence of occupation, jobs and positions that one occupy during the course of person's working life, a working period of life. As you continue to grow, you move from one step to another. That is what career is all about. So it is defined as a work activity. It's a kind of work activity. So what we are talking about is the work activity of a microbiologist. As you keep on growing in this field of microbiology, what are the things, what are the developmental equipping that you give to yourself? What are those things that you are expected to have to be able to succeed? And as I have said, my brother has said a lot. So I am going to base my talk on the academic aspect of it. Myself, I am Onyema Stephen Okechukwu, and I'm a graduate of microbiology. Also, I'm currently a lecturer in the Federal Polytechnic Owerri. And as one who has been in the academia, I think I will have to learn a little of what I know and a little of the experience I have gained from that environment. I am passionate for public health and epidemiology. I love anything that has to do with health so much. So I desire to do better in public health, trying as much as possible in creating awareness to the public concerning their health, their interaction with microbes, and what they need to know. I am also a member of the American Society for Microbiology, and I think it's a great place that I will also want every one of us to also be. because you are going to have a lot to learn from this. So just like this has been said, we notice that as a microbiologist, we can embark on a dynamic career path with endless possibilities. These possibilities ranges from a groundbreaking research in infectious diseases and even getting into biotechnology, which my brother has spoken extensively on, to critical roles in environmental conservation and the pharmaceutical industry. So if we have these areas that we can actually dive into, the question now becomes, why do we still find it difficult to have microbiologists being useful in the society? Why do we still think that we cannot do much as microbiologists? In Nigeria, there is a growing emphasis in scientific innovations. The government is spending so much investing in science and innovations and all, and especially in healthcare. This makes it an ideal place for microbiologists to thrive. Yes, we should be relevant, because when you are talking about innovations, you are talking about researches, you can't do this without a microbiologist. A microbiologist is needed. I remember what is happening at Irua Specialist Hospital in Edo State. That place has been a center for research. You can remember during the outbreak of Ebola, Irua was a place that could be referred to. Many of these issues, it has always been Lassa fever. Irua is known in Africa as a center for Lassa fever. And who are these people who are involved in all these things? They are microbiologists. So there are ample opportunities everywhere for those who are in this field. However, I do not know whether I will say it is as a result of societal perception, or I don't know whether it is because of the environment we find ourselves. It now looks as if there are limited opportunities for microbiologists. So in this field of microbiology, sometimes people go to school and begin to ask themselves, so after my studies, what am I going to do? What am I using my certificate to do? And this is the essence of this webinar. We want to tell ourselves that, yes, your certificate in microbiology can be relevant to you. It can be useful. You can use it for something good. That is why we need to learn about it. They say to be, when information is power. Yes, when you are informed, you are armed. That is actually what that means. So we want to encourage us. We want to use this opportunity to encourage us that we can dive into the field of microbiology with our full chest. What do I mean with our full chest? I mean with confidence. You see, in this life, whatever thing you want to do, try as much as possible to be determined in that particular thing. Let me tell you, if as a medical doctor, maybe these are people who are being sought for in this country, and you go into medicine without you being determined to be a medical doctor, at the end of the day, you might end up not even achieving more. You might end up not being relevant to the society. Yesterday, I was watching a skit, and we were interviewing a young man, and he said he studied nursing, but he's not practicing. His nursing that he did is only for his own health, his own body. So when he's sick, he gives himself treatment. So you can see that somebody who is in the field of nursing, we ask you in microbiology and say, after your certificate in microbiology, what are you going to do? And maybe you'll be shivering. But there is somebody also in that same field who is not using what he studied to do anything. So we are saying that we want to a kind of spur us, a kind of encourage us to know that we can actually use what we have to better the society. What do we mean when we talk about microbiology? And I know that we understand that microbiology is a study of tiny, invisible life forms called microorganisms. This can include bacteria, viruses, fungi, and algae. These microorganisms play very crucial roles in our world. They play very crucial role in our world. In fact, every single, there is what we call aerosol. Every single air that we breathe are made up with microorganisms. So I can say that if we are talking about air, we are even talking about microorganisms. It can either be the harmful ones or it can be the ones that are not harmful. So if we are dealing with something that is ubiquitous, if I can use that word, something that is almost everywhere, why will the field not be relevant? This is actually what we need to know. So studying microbiology helps us to learn how these tiny creatures live, grow, and interact with their surroundings, giving you the knowledge to solve health problems, even be able to create new medicines, be able to understand the natural world better. That is what studying microbiology helps you to do. So as a microbiologist, you are not just limited to just seeking what to do. You are also meant to be one who should be able to profile solution to the challenge of the world. That is what it's all about. We can profile solution to people's challenges and all that is on that. Now, let me also remind us that it has been prospected that the employment of microbiology in the world will grow to 7% from 2023 to 2033. That is a period of 10 years. We are going to have a growth of 7% in the need for microbiologists. And this is faster than the average for every other occupation. You notice that the world, we are experiencing weather depletions, the ozone layer problems, and I mean that people are falling sick now than before. There are more problems than before. You can, the insurgence of coronavirus can actually teach us, in fact, something. You saw what happened. Workers were needed, people were needed. So we are going to have about 1,900 openings for microbiologists. And this is projected to happen. 1,900 for every year for those who are microbiologists. But you cannot be able to utilize this opportunity if you do not have the things that are needed of you, if you do not have the qualifications. So this is why we want to talk about the educational qualifications for microbiologists. What are you expected to have as one who should fit into these people who will be sorted for, maybe in the nearest future? Now let's talk about the educational parts. We start with our bachelor's degree, that is the BSc. This is a fundamental degree in microbiology, and it is needed for the growth in this field. You must have this fundamental degree. It can also be from relevant courses like biology, biochemistry, or molecular biology. So as we, at this stage, one would have gained a fundamental knowledge in microbial physiology, in genetics, in virology, and even in immunology. These are some areas that one will be groomed. You have fundamental knowledge. And one thing I have to say is that most of the times, just like the first speaker has said, most of the times we play away this fundamental stage. we play away with it. I mean, we are not committed to doing our practicals. We are not committed to doing our classwork as it's supposed to be. This is one area that we will not forget in the problem we face in Nigeria, in Africa for employment. Most of the times, those who go to school fail to learn these fundamental skills that they are being taught. I am trying to tell us that these fundamental skills, your BSc program is a kind of stepping stone to a higher level. When you are not able to do well here, for instance, after your BSc and you want to go for your master's, some schools will expect you to a kind of write a kind of thesis, or would I call it an abstract of your BSc work. So if I was not able to do my BSc work, yes, I may go to my project work and copy and send to them. But you now notice that in my master's, I am now expected to dive into research. Even though it is not so advanced, but I have to do more of research for me to be able to meet up with my requirement for master's. So after my bachelor's degree, the next step I move educationally is to go for my master's, that is MSc. And it is a kind of specialization part of a career in microbiology. So in this area, you can specialize on medical microbiology, you can specialize in industrial microbiology, or in environmental microbiology. All these areas of specializations begin at this stage of your master's degree. So we also be expected to be engaged in some little lab work and activities and some research projects. Yes, you will be expected to do that. For instance, while you are doing your master's, some of the lecturers who have some, or professors who have some important research work to do, can invite some of us. And these are some of the opportunities that we are also talking about. I remember in those days in our undergraduate, we were told a story of some students who were taken to South Africa for some research work. There was a research center in South Africa that was ready to pay people in dollars. They were ready to pay big monies. But what actually happened was that the professor in Nigeria knew some of his students that time who were doing extremely well. And immediately he had to pick them. I think about 2 or 3 of them that we have talked about. And if I'm not mistaken, I think each was paid that time around $3,000 or so, or about $5,000. So what we are saying is, while you are even on your master's, you might also have some research projects to conduct. Now, after our master's, the next step we go is for the doctorate, that is PhD. So PhD program is essentially for research. It is a research-focused career. In fact, that is what we are expected to do there. This involves conducting original research, publishing papers, and developing expertise in a highly specialized kind of a field of microbiology. So you can have areas like the microbial specialized subfield of microbiology. You can specialize on microbial genetics, you can specialize on virology, or you can even specialize on microbial ecology. These are some of the areas that one who is doing his PhD, even in the industrial aspect of it. For example, we talked about the molecular microbiology and all. So when you are in your doctorate, you are mainly going to carry out research. So you can now see how the movement is going. That if there are no fundamental knowledge of research in our first degrees, at this point, we are going to find it difficult. We are going to struggle. So most of the struggles, most of the challenges that we have is as a result of not being able to get the foundations. When the foundation is faulty, it becomes a problem. So this is the educational part. We've talked about the BSc, that is your first degree in microbiology. We've talked about the master's, that is where you begin your specialization. We talked about the doctorate, that is the research-based field in your study as a student in microbiology. Now, what about the specialization fields? Yes, we have talked about this, but we will still mention that you can now specialize in medical microbiology. One who specializes in medical microbiology focuses on the role of microbes in human diseases, studying of pathogens and antibiotics resistance. One can also dive into vaccine development. Yes, you might be among those who can be called upon or who can go into researching on developing vaccine for a particular problem, a particular disease or the other. So under medical microbiology, if you go to some schools, I was speaking with a colleague who is doing her master's in one school in Nigeria here, in one of the prestigious universities. And she was telling me that sometimes most of these courses, what this school calls this course might not be what the other one considers that course. So sometimes you can have some schools who offer courses like medical parasitology. Yes, medical parasitology. You can have courses like under medical microbiology, just like I mentioned before. You can have immunology, that is being able to study about the immune system, its response, and the microbial infections that has to do with the immune. You have topics like the innate and adaptive immunity. You talk about immunological disorder. You talk about the host defense. You can specialize on host defense mechanism or even vaccine development, just like we have mentioned. Then under medical microbiology too, you have molecular diagnostics. So this course introduces in an advanced molecular techniques used in diagnosis and even in characterization of microbial pathogens. You have topics like PCR, that is polymerase chain reaction. I don't know. Most of us, until we finished our first degree, many of us didn't have access to a polymerase chain reaction machine. I remember I presented my seminar on polymerase chain reaction, but everything was just on paper. I can actually tell you. But I also want to say that even those ideas on paper also helps you when you come across the machine. So in molecular diagnostics, these are some of the things that you study. You study about DNA sequencing, genotyping. These are some of the areas in molecular diagnostics. Then you also have the area of epidemiology and public health. The area of epidemiology and public health about talking about the principles of epidemiology and its application in understanding the spread and control of infectious diseases. It covers topics like outbreak investigation, surveillance system, disease modeling, public health interventions, and all the rest of them. So when you go into this, you notice that this is a very nice course. It's a very good thing.
Please, for those of us that are joining from YouTube, Please, I see your questions, and at the end we'll attend to them. Thank you. Please go ahead, sir.
Okay, so yes, that is on medical microbiology. We are talking about specializations, areas that we can specialize on in microbiology, knowledges that we need to acquire so that we can be useful to the society and useful to ourselves. This is exactly what we have been talking about. So, aside the medical aspect of it, we can also specialize in the industrial part of microbiology. Now, this involves we using the microbes for industrial purposes, such as the production of pharmaceuticals. So you are going to notice that even somebody who is in microbiology is also very useful in the industry, in the area of production of drugs. Yes, one can find himself or herself in such a place. Production of food and beverages. I mean, fermentation. We know how much alcoholic beverages are, how much they are selling in Nigeria today, and those who go into that field. So I can decide also to go into the industrial role. In fact, so many persons like this industrial aspect of microbiology because they feel that is where you have more money. But I don't want to believe that. I am not going to tell you that. I'm going to tell you that there are people who are in medical who are also as successful or even more successful than those who are in the industrial. So in industrial microbiology, you can be involved in the production of pharmaceutical products, food and beverages, or even in the making of biofuels. Yes, these things are some of the areas we can find ourselves. Then we have the agricultural microbiology. We have the agricultural microbiology. It focuses on the health of plants, the microbe interaction between, microbe interactions, yes, with plants and the soil and all the rest of them. We talk about using these microbes to enhance crop productions and even protect against pests. People want to go away from some of these pesticides that are harmful to the health. People are looking for a way that natural things that can be used, or natural products can be used to provide pests that we can use to maybe get rid of pests and at the same time enhance the health of plants, make it good for the body. So that is on that. So this is an area that one can also dive into. Now we have another area, research-focused career. Number one of it is the academic research. Academic research. This involves working in universities, working in polytechnics, working in research institutions, conducting fundamental or applied research, and publishing even findings. Publishing findings. Let me remind us that, especially those of us who want to go into academics, maybe you want to lecture. So we are saying that in the academics, for you to progress as a lecturer, you have to be able to carry out research and present research papers. You have to be able to publish research papers for you to actually prove that, yes, you are really doing your work as one in the academics. Because as one in academics, you are expected to come out with innovations, come out with findings, try to enlighten the public. That is what you're expected to do. So for your promotions, you have to be involved in research and you have to be involved in publication of letters. And I want to let you know that even before you get that job, of lecturing and you have already published a paper is a plus to you. It's a plus to you. It's a very big plus. So most times, many of us, when we graduate from the university, maybe after our first degree in microbiology, most of us will relax. We forget about it. We begin to pursue some other things because already we have told ourselves that, what am I going to do with this certificate? That is what we are told, and we have come to believe that. But life has taught me that you may not know where you will find yourself tomorrow. So every opportunity that we have to make good use of it. Every opportunity to prepare ourselves, we have to make good use of it and prepare ourselves. Prepare yourself and wait, because you don't know where you find yourself tomorrow. So in research-focused career, you have academic research. You also have industrial research. Those industries that are producing the materials that we use, or for instance, the pharmaceuticals and the beverages and some of the food. There are some fermented food from the industry too, like even making of yogurt and all the rest of them. People keep on going into research. People keep on going into research to know how they can improve on these products. Somebody thinks of how to make his own even better than the other person's own. So if you are one who has good ideas that can help in these areas, I think it will be a plus to you. So people in this industrial research are expected to be involved in quality control. Yes, quality control. They are product development specialists. You cannot be working in a company as a microbiologist and you don't have innovations. So you're expected to sit down and be able to research, be able to come up with something new. And when that happens, you now see that you have become an asset to that particular organization. We also have clinical research. We have clinical research. These are from the medical microbiologists. They may work in hospitals. They may work in diagnostic labs. They may work in public health organizations, focusing on disease diagnosis and even epidemiology and even infection control. These people are those who have dived into the area of research. These are the people who are needed in this area. Then you can also be a part of a governmental regulatory body. Yes, one can be a part of governmental regulatory body. We have so many of them here. People who are working with organizations like the NCDC, that is Nigeria Center for Disease Control. These are areas, these are places meant for us to work in. These are places meant for us to be. We have the NAFDAC that you can work in as a microbiologist. We have the CDC. We also have the WHO. We have had a lecturer who was sent all the way she had been with WHO. She works with WHO. She's a Nigerian. She's somebody like us. So we can also be involved in environmental agencies. We can be part of some environmental agencies that study pathogens, those ones that track outbreak, and even they develop public health policies. Yes, we can be part of all these people. But just like my colleague has said, all these things that we are talking about will only be possible when you develop these skills that he mentioned to you. I want to remind us again of these skills that we are expected to develop. These techniques, these skills and techniques that we are expected to have. You must try as much as possible to be proficient in microbial culture. Simple culturing. Simple culturing. It will not make sense that I went through the university and I don't even understand the simple gram staining technique. I remember in those days, some persons, in fact, when you ask them to come and describe the gram staining techniques, they will be fidgeting. So one must be able to know some of those things. You know, when we were trying to, when our students were doing their seminar proposal, they were presenting their project topic actually. That is what it was called. And they were giving a proposal. Then you ask a student, how are you going to carry out this work? The student tells you, I have not done it. Okay, you want to go and do a work, you don't know how to actually do it. You now expect that when you get to the lab, the knowledge will miraculously, or will I say automatically, come into you. They feel that you shouldn't ask them to be able to explain what you are going to do there. So what are we trying to say? One has to develop some skills. While you are a student, you have to develop these skills. Because I think that is where we have a platform. That is where we have a platform that can give us the opportunity to be able to learn some of these things. Then one must be able to understand the simple principles of the PCR, how to handle some of these things. Gene sequencing, he talked about it. Microscopy, yes, we need to be able to understand some of these things. We must be able to understand some of the bioinformation tools. Yes, we should be able to have all these things. Then number 2 is we must be analytical in our thinking. We must have that analytical thinking skill. That is to analyze and interpret data. When I see a data, I should be able to interpret it. For instance, I carried out a microbiological experiment. And maybe after some times when I am expected to make observations, I should be able to know what I'm expecting, what I want to see. And I should be able that both the morphological or most of those appearances that I see maybe on my plate, I should be able to interpret them and say, this is what I've been able to see. So these are some of those things. And number 3, we must have a good writing and communication skill. How can you make your research? How can you present your papers if you do not know how to write a research? So these are still areas that we have to dive into, study about these things. How do I present research papers? How do I apply for grants? How do I write a proposal for grants? I went to an institution to apply for a program, and I was asked to write a grant proposal, asking that I need so amount to be able to carry out so thing. This is a project I have, I should write a grant. So we have to learn some of these things. We have to develop these skills. We have to be good in communication. Then number 3 skill or technique we must have is being able to collaborate. Collaboration is very, very important. You cannot do some of these things alone. And you notice that when you work with others, when you come close to others, when you associate yourself, we have people who are doing well. I think the first speaker talked about it. Look at one thing. When I finished my first degree, I had to go to look for a lab to work in. I told them that I did not want to be paid, although it didn't work out anyway. The man kept playing me. I will call you. I don't know what his fear was all about. But I have already told him that I was not going to collect some pay. Personally, I do certain things even when there are nothing financially coming out of it. I do most of those things because of the experience and the skill. And this is the challenge most times that we have in our country, Nigeria. If that thing is not going to pay that person, the person will not be interested in it. Most times we get interested in things because we know that there are some monetary values those things are going to give us. But I'm telling you that something that may not have given you a monetary value today might give you the next 2 years or the next 3 years. You cannot actually tell. So we must learn how to collaborate. If I have lecturers who are doing well, I stay close to them. If I have research centers that I have access to, I can be a part of that place and be able to develop myself. Now, let me bring to our layman's understanding some job opportunities for microbiologists in Nigeria. Most times when you go to LinkedIn or maybe job advert centers, you will see adverts for people like laboratory scientists. So a microbiologist can do this. You can be a laboratory scientist. Most of our colleagues that we did a first degree together with, most of them are laboratory scientists. They are working for hospitals. And although it might not be government-owned hospitals, but at least one may start somewhere. And I also know that there are some who are working with a government-owned hospitals. Yes. So one can also be a food safety quality officer. Food safety quality officer. So companies that are specialized on production of food can take one who is a microbiologist. Yes, opportunities exist in these places. You can be a laboratory technician, maybe under packaging. You can be a laboratory technician packaging. One can be a quality supervisor microbiology. Quality supervisor microbiology. One can also be a quality assurance manager. Yes, even in microbiology, there is a particular topic in your first degree, you study about quality assurance. That shows that this is our work. And these are things that companies need. Companies want people who are in this field, people who can actually do this. We can also be medical representatives. Medical reps. Yes, a microbiologist can be a medical rep, either for even for pharmaceutical companies. You can be a medical rep for pharmaceutical companies. I don't know if many of us in microbiology know about this profession. People are doing it and it's a very good one. And I also know that there are many persons who are being paid well in this particular area. You can be a graduate trainees. That is a brand activation executive. Yes, you can be a brand activation executive. One can also get into lecturing job, like some of us are doing. We can get into lecturing jobs. You can lecture in a polytechnic. You can lecture in a university. Most of our graduates, I don't want to teach. I don't want to teach. But these are jobs, these are careers that gives you a leverage. It gives you the opportunity to learn and study more. It gives you the opportunity to develop yourself. My people, everything must not be all about money. Everything, when you become someone, when you develop yourself, when you build yourself, I tell you, money will come looking for you. That is just one thing. So we can also be research associates or assistants. Yes, we can be research associate and assistants. There are grant opportunities for those of us who want to go into academic research. If you are a lecturer in a university or in a polytechnic, you have the opportunity to access the TED fund, that is tertiary education fund, that can help you to study more, to build your career, to develop yourself, go into research, or even further your studies. We also have the health research and development grants. These are opportunities that one can leverage on. So what have we said so far, and what are we trying to say? We are saying that microbiology has a lot of opportunities for us. But most of these opportunities can actually be utilized when we are focused, when we have the requirements, when we have those things, those both the foundation and also the other areas of development that are expected of us. When we have some of these things, we'll be able to make ourselves relevant, and we can enjoy this field of microbiology. There are many Nigerians who are known as they are known in virology, they are known in even in parasitology. These are people who are respected and regarded worldwide. So you can be one of those people. You can be one of them. But I must tell you that they did not earn this recognition by being lackadaisical about this course. They took it serious, and they believed that they are going to do well in it. They believe that so much, and they see themselves excelling in it. So this is the little that I have to share with us as regards to educational, industrial, and occupational parts of both medical part of microbiology. The journey one can take and become successful, or beat his or her chest and say, yes, I think I have imparted in the society. Thank you so much. So if you have a question, please, we'll be willing to attend to your questions. I am sorry I couldn't actually, I had some little issues which I cannot really tell where it's coming from, that I couldn't actually present a visual for us to follow up. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Prof, for that insightful piece you gave us. And I'm sure everyone participating in this, they are steaming with gratitude. So thank you, sir, for that. Please, can we just give reaction to our speaker? If for those of us that are around, just give a reaction, a thumbs up or something. Thank you, Ms. Sarah. Thank you, Prof. We appreciate what you've done. Thank you, Mr. Sarah Schultz. Thank you. And our family streaming from YouTube as well. We see you. Yes, we see you. Thank you very much. So, without any further delay, please, if you have questions, just quickly signify. I know we've taken more time than we said we were going to. Apologies for that. And I believe it was worth the time, but that's not an excuse anyways. So please, if you have any question, quickly, let's just signify one or two before we go. Okay?
Hello?
Okay, sir. Please. Go ahead, sir.
Yes. I have a question. I don't know if, but I think these things apply the same, because many students doing microbiology in Cameroon, they're actually students who have written medicine concours, that is entrance examinations into medicine, into engineering, and so on, and they could not gain admission, so they get back to this one as the last resort. I don't know if that is the case in Nigeria.
Yes, it happens like that too. It happens like that. It happens. As a matter of fact, I was when I was giving microbiology, I was applying for medicine. So yeah, so when I was giving microbiology, in my first year, I was like, what kind of course is this? But as time goes by, and I begin to see the prospects and everything, I fully embraced microbiology during my industrial training when I saw the things that could be done with microbiology. So I think it happens in most times, most case scenarios. That's how it happens, and it becomes because and the field is a very lovable one. So at some point you begin to forget. You actually forget that this was not what you wanted to do, and it's because. And do you know why it's like that? I think the reason it's like that because people don't get to know about microbiology before they get to school. So they
For
didn't
sure.
get to yes, they didn't get to choose this for themselves. If I had known about it before, maybe going for career counseling, someone had told me about microbiology, told me about any other course, I wouldn't because I now begin to see that everything I love, everything that I want that got me interested in medicine was just there in microbiology. It's always like that, even in Nigeria. And I think it's like that in other parts of Africa as well. And that's because of lack of recognition, like we said before. People don't really know about microbiology and the good they can do and the good microbiology can do for our society. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
I want to add something too.
Okay.
Yes, what I want to say is that just like you have said, I think many of us are victims of this particular issue. Like in my own case, I was going for nursing. And because I was not given admission on nursing, so I had to. Although there was an option whether I should go for physiology, biocare, or microbiology, but a friend who graduated from biochemistry asked me to go for microbiology. So I think I had a guide, and actually going through microbiology, I noticed that yes, actually it was worth it. And I think this is the essence of what we are doing here. If we can even add, if it is possible, we can invite even those who are seeking for admission, so that in situations like this, they can have a knowledge of what this course is all about, know what they are expecting, have a perspective of what they are going to do. But the area I actually want to also add is this, that whatever thing you are doing in life, sit down and know the area that particular thing will be helpful to human need. Don't just go to school and study because you just want to go to school. And this is why we are talking about the area of specialization. If you want to specialize, ask yourself, why am I specializing in this particular area? What do I really need to offer to the society? And you see that when that happens, you see that person people will begin to value that particular thing you are doing. People will come to know, what are you doing? And before you know it, it will not be a thing of maybe I am here because there was no option. That is why I just find myself here. So that is a little thing I want to add to what our lecturer has said, the answer he has given to. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, sir, for that. That was a very good clarity for everything. And I hope we've answered the question, sir. Mr. Siri, I'm sorry I can't really pronounce your name. I don't want to murder your name, so I'll just call you Siri. So I hope we've been able to answer your question. And if there's any other question, please just let us know before we quit. We are ending soon. And like I said earlier, we have a community of microbiologists that advocate and create awareness about this field. We just need passionate microbiologists that want to make a difference, a positive difference in the field of microbiology. If you would like to be part of this move, this community, just click and fill, and that's it, so that we can start doing the good works. We can start creating positive impact and impacting people and telling them and giving microbiology the narrative we want it to have. There was a video I saw online that was actually listing they put together a couple of useless courses to study in Nigeria. And to my greatest surprise, microbiology was topping the list. As a microbiologist, I was sad. Like, you people don't know what you are talking about. Well, it is the situation of things. So if we want to make a difference, if we want to see things differently, it's going to have to start from us.